case of a penniless American Indian who had been convicted of a murder, which, it soon developed, had in all probability never been committed. Almost at once, these experts pointed out a peculiar discrepancy. The consulting pathologist had acted upon a mistaken assumption that certain significant hemorrhagic conditions had existed, whereas the autopsy surgeon had not only failed to find such hemorrhagic conditions, but had considered their absence a significant point in reaching his conclusions. For a period of months, reports came in, well-reasoned, carefully thought-out reports, and the majority were to the effect that under the peculiar circumstances of the case it was quite possible the victim had died a natural death. This victim was an elderly, quarrelsome man who had the reputation of being the village drunkard and engaging in altercations when he was inebriated. The post-mortem findings showed beyond question that he was pretty well intoxicated at the time of his death, and his reputation indicated that not only was he abusive and quarrelsome under those circumstances, but that he had probably picked a fight with the young Indian and could well have met his death not as a result of that fight, but some time later and from natural causes. The Indian had been on a drinking spree with a companion, and upon subsequently regaining his senses, had insufficient recollection of what had happened to be of any help. Listed in alphabetical order, the forensic experts, many of whom are lawyers as well as doctors, who submitted detailed reports were Lester Adelson, M.D., pathologist and chief deputy coroner, County of Cuyahoga Coroner's Office, Cleveland, Ohio; Francis Camps, M.D., London, England; Daniel J. Condon, M.D., medical examiner of Maricopa County, Phoenix, Arizona; Russell S. Fisher, M.D., chief medical examiner of Baltimore, Maryland; Richard Ford, M.D., professor of legal medicine, Harvard University, Boston, Massachusetts; S.R. Gerber, M.D., coroner, County of Cuyahoga, Cleveland, Ohio; Milton Helpern, M.D., City of New York, Office of Chief Medical Examiner, New York, New York; Joseph A. Yahimchik, M.D., Office of Medical Examiner of Harris County, Courthouse, Houston, Texas; Alvin V. Mahoska, M.D., pathologist, Honolulu, Hawaii; Lemoyne Snyder, M.D., San Francisco, California. Under the new revised military code, many authorities feel that the military system of criminal justice approaches the ideal method of handling criminal cases. The rights of the accused are protected, but procedural technicalities are designed to facilitate proof and ensure complete fairness, not as technical loopholes. Even after conviction and the expiration of the time for appeal, a reviewing board makes an annual checkup on the prisoner, and the rules are sufficiently flexible so that many matters concerning the prisoner can be given consideration at the discretion of the board. In this case, the reports of the medical experts were passed on to the reviewing board, and the careful attention given by the board, the courteous interest shown in every phase of the case, has been most reassuring. Judge Carter made several trips from his residence in San Diego to my ranch at Temecula, interrupted his busy schedule to make a careful analysis of the evidence, and made a special trip to the institution where the young man was confined to interview him. The file in this case has grown to huge proportions. The man-hours spent in the investigation and presentation are staggering. Even a wealthy man could hardly afford to consult such an array of medical talent. Yet these men furnished their services gratuitously to review the case of a penniless Indian boy. Devoted to the cause of justice, these men took no count of the cost. In these days we hear much of conflicting ideologies. Perhaps, just as we take the air we breathe for granted, many of us fail to realize the advantages we enjoy under the concept of justice, which is so much a part of our traditional background. And so I salute the military code, in which ultimate justice takes precedence over technicalities, and I dedicate this book to those men who gave so unselfishly of their time to investigate the case of a penniless Indian. Erle Stanley Gardner. Chapter 1. Perry Mason, opening the door of his private office, grinned at Della Street, his confidential secretary, and said, "All right, so I'm late." Della Street, glancing at her wristwatch, smiled indulgently.
"Okay, so you're late, and if you want to sleep late, I don't know anyone who's more entitled to do so. Only I'm afraid we're going to have to buy a new carpet for the reception room."
Mason's eyes were puzzled. "A new carpet?"
"This one's getting worn out."